All right, I can admit how I appear. I can appear a little bit like a blonde Barbie. Um, and that is a fair assumption, right? And that also highlights how we judge others, right? We judge others by their appearance. And what I'm here to talk about today is the neurodivergent population. And that is also described as people on the autism spectrum. Now, this is a population that is very near and dear to my heart. And I was not formally trained in a lot of what I later learned about autism or neurodivergence. Now, so I want to talk about raising the awareness and for autism and neurodivergence and related suicide. So now, some statistics say that about 1 in 100 people are diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. And then there's also some statistics say that about 1 in 26 children are being diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. Now, these are marked discrepancies. However, they're very relevant, and they just show that more research needs to be done. Now, something that I didn't know, and I later learned, is the high rates of suicide for people on the autism spectrum. So I grew up with a younger brother, and he was one of these neurodivergent people. My little brother Ian he was sensitive, he was kind-hearted, he was thoughtful, and he was funny without even realizing it. I remember, for example, going out on a date, and my brother came down and he asked the gentleman where he was taking me on the date. And the date that responded with Nobu. And my brother promptly responded with, "All the guys take Courtney to Nobu." So this is just one of the examples of how people on the neurodivergent spectrum can come across, right? And so that's why it is called a spectrum. So this spectrum ranges anywhere from people who are nonverbal to people like Elon Musk, right? Who's one of my idols. And it's an invisible disability. So I want you just to kind of imagine for a moment being different from, feeling like you can't pick up on social cues, struggling to create and maintain friendships, struggling with your day-to-day life because you might lack a filter or not fit inside this box that we've created as society. And my brother fought really, really hard. My brother fought very, very hard in this world. Unfortunately, he wasn't diagnosed early with autism. He was misdiagnosed in the 90s and early 2000s with a variety of other disabilities. And so he was placed in schools that were highly inappropriate for him, and he was bullied very regularly. So a lot of the damage had already been done. Now, on December 6th of last year, my family received the phone call we had dreaded the most. Ian had committed suicide. And I had been so consumed in that period of time by something that was health-related that I missed his last phone call. And his last phone call to me was asking how I was doing. It wasn't about whether, asking for help. That's the kind of person my brother was. And that's the kind of person a lot of people on the spectrum are. And that's, again, this is why we need to be diagnosing earlier. We need to be providing interventions. We need more research and more treatment for people on the spectrum. And some studies show that about 24% of people on the autism spectrum will attempt suicide. Another studies show that they are 3 times more likely than an average population to try to commit suicide. and females are at even higher risk. So these statistics are staggering. And what I later learned is that their lifespan is actually significantly shorter than the average lifespan. So the average lifespan of an Italian person is approximately 83 years old. Now, somebody on the autism spectrum, their average lifespan is about 39 years old. There's a really big difference. And again, this is an area where we need more research. We need more early diagnosis, we need more interventions, and we need more treatment. And I want to thank you for having me here on the stage to be able to talk about this really important issue. Thank you.